Hiya, Laurie here, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well and that you're all coping nicely through this odd time. We're still in lockdown, but I hope that you're keeping yourself occupied. I've got a little craft along for you guys again today, so busting out the Amazon folios again. But this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to make one of those sort of file folder type style folios. Hopefully that's coming across okay. So it's the same sort of principle as the last one. I've just kind of decorated it with this little ribbon on the front, and then I've got one of those sort of diary type closures. But it's the same sort of principle as the last one, just slightly different on the inside. So again, need one of those folios. So I did attempt to rip off the paper part, but it wasn't for happening, so I gave up. But again, same idea, just tearing off this little dude here. Again, don't worry if this happens, we're going to be covering it up. Oh, missed the bin. And again, pulling off this little guy here. I always bring it too close to myself, sorry about that. And again, I'll cut that off in a second. So yeah, we're basically going to do pretty much the same steps to start off with. So covering it with fabric. Obviously you don't have to cover it with fabric if you don't want to. You can cover it with paper. This would look really cool if you covered it with like designer paper, like the scrapbook paper type stuff, or even a digikit. That would look really cool. And again, I'm going to cut off this like perforated edge. If you can see that it's that sort of tearing styled edge. So I'm just going to grab my paper cutter. And I think for once, I'm going to probably jinx myself by saying this, but I think for once I actually remember to grab everything that I will need. And then because I've trimmed that slightly, it's taken away this part, which I really like. So I'm just going to cut it back in a little bit more. And I'm not trying to get it even because I would never be able to, but just so it's got that tag styled edge. Pull those off. And I've picked this fabric here, and it's a fabric I've had for a while and I didn't even realise it was cut down there, so I hope it's enough. But it's so soft, it's almost like silk. And I'll bring it up closer so you can see. It's just absolutely stunning. So normally what I do is I take little bits of it and put it into the odd project, but I think today we will use it to cover this. This will be a giveaway at the end as well, so stay tuned for that. So I'm just going to kind of lay it down and see how much I will need. So I'm just kind of lining it up with the edges, and obviously I want it to be able to fold over. So I'm going to trim it. So I've just trimmed this down so that it will fold over nicely. So you want about an inch-ish. You don't want too much obviously, because then it just becomes a hindrance, but you want enough that it's going to cover. It's about half an inch to an inch. So that you're comfortable with it. And that means as well that if you don't have paper this big to cover it, you've given yourself a little bit of leeway, so your paper wouldn't have to come up as high, because then you would see your fabric peeking out as well, which is also nice to see. So I'm just going to take my Beacon 3-in-1 glue, which is a fabric glue, and I'm just going to start gluing this down. And I'm just going to do a panel at a time. So this glue dries not really fast, but relatively fast. And so if I do a panel at a time, I know that I'll have plenty of wiggle room between the drying of the glue. I cannot talk, my goodness. I've had the same issue with texting today. I've been speaking gobbledygook. And I've just kind of taken up to roughly where I think my spine will be. I haven't measured it out yet, but roughly this will probably end up being my spine area, this sort of area here. Like I said last time, I wouldn't recommend a sort of PVA style like wet glue, as it will warp the cardboard underneath and then you will end up with wrinkles. And because of the type of cardboard, it's like impossible to get those wrinkles out. I'm talking from past experience here. So I would definitely recommend using maybe even double-sided sticky tape would work, to be honest. It's not something I generally gravitate towards, but it would probably work just as well. So how is everyone anyway? I hope you're all doing well. Are you taking part in the 52 tag challenge? I'm having a lot of fun with it. My friends and I are sharing pictures and it's just really fun. I will be starting the videos as soon as I catch up. I'm a few behind, but once I catch up I will show you the ones that I have done and kind of give you like a little walkthrough of what I did, and then I will move on to the next one with you guys. But there's plenty to see if you're interested in what it is. Just search hashtag 52 tag challenge on YouTube and you will get hit with a ton of videos, and it's really fun. It's one a week, so it's not like ridiculously like one a day or anything like that, so you've got plenty of time to work on them, and the rules are very lax as well. You've just to make it your own, which gives you guidelines, like a certain thing to include on your tag. Other than that, you've just to do however you want to do it, and it's great fun for trying out new techniques or new ideas that you've kind of never really found that particular project for. And it's a nice way to obviously do a little bit of crafting if you've lost your mojo or whatever, because most of the guidelines are put in place for you, and then you've got a lot of inspiration around you as well from other people doing it, that you could take a little bit of everybody's tag and still be able to make your own. But yeah, it's really fun. I can't remember the lady's name who set it up. I'm really sorry. I think it's Shannon, but I may be wrong. Oops, the glue's kind of peeking through there. There we go. So now we need to do this side. So I'm just going to trim off the corners just ever so slightly. Just so that I've still got plenty that it will wrap over, but not be super annoying and get in my way. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in the corner. And just fold that over. And then the same on the other side. But yeah, what are you guys working on? I'd love to know. Let me trim a little bit more of this. out of the way. And then I'm just going to do what I did last time, where I'm just going to take that little bit away. I always pick up the bluntest scissors ever, which isn't hard because all my scissors are getting blunt, but these ones are pretty blunt at the end, but at the tip, which is annoying me. There we go. Spin this round. So I'm just doing this to stop bulk. You don't have to, you could leave that there. It's just a preference of mine to cut it away. Generally it's not this hard. There we go. So now I'm just going to glue this part down here. And give it a good old tug. And I'm just going to trim off that little bit of excess. I've been watching Carol at Oak House Journals video today on the scrappy scraps, and I'm just looking at these like they're made of gold right now. Because I don't know if you've seen them, but they're just gorgeous. And she's done a sort of tutorial where she talks you through her kind of process, because she's shown them in a few videos in the past, but this is the first time she's really kind of gone into depth on how she constructs them. So I've been watching that. It is quite a long video, so it has taken me the best part of the day to get through it. I've got to kind of watch a video, pause it, watch it. Because of kids, I never can just sit down and watch a video fully. So when I get 5 minutes, I'll pop it on, and that's literally what I'll get, 5 minutes, and then I'll pause it and come back to it. Maybe rewind it a couple of seconds so I remember where I'm at. So I've still not finished the video yet, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Oh geez, these scissors are doing my nothing. Okay, so that's that completely stuck down. So now I'm going to worry about, or focus on rather, where I want my fold. So that first one there is where I'm going to reinforce that fold there. And then right here, so obviously it depends on how thick or wide rather you want your, sorry that's not lining up, how wide you want your spine to be, basically, if you know what you're putting in it. Why is this folding wonky on me? There we go. Yeah, so obviously if you know what you're putting in it and you know you're going to need quite a lot of space, you'll make it bigger than what I'm doing. This is maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches at push. I will tell you, it is about 1.5 inches. So now I'm going to do the same thing here. This part doesn't need to be as wide as your spine. But it still needs to be relatively wide. So where this naturally wants to fold is there, but I don't really want it as big as that. So I'm going to bring it in just a cinch, just a scotch. And once we add cards and stuff on the inside, that will stop the other fold from folding, if that made any sense. Once we reinforce this part, it won't want to fold there. But that gives us this little area here as our spine, so that when this closes, this is what we're left with. Again, if you obviously have a lot going in this, you might want to get a bigger folder. Size wise, this is just over, so about 10 1/4 inches by almost 7, well, about 7 inches, and that is 26 centimeters by 18 centimeters. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is take the same fabric, or a different fabric if you want, and we're going to reinforce our spinal areas, because those are the ones that are going to get yanked at the most. Obviously you could put fabric over the entire thing if you wanted, but you really don't need it. I'm going to see if this will do that tear trick. I highly doubt I will. Oh, I did it. I got a fright when I did it, but I did it. Anyway. Oh, I got excited there too. I thought I was totally going to be able to do it twice in a row. How Scottish did I sound there, man? Right, so we've got 2. And obviously they just need to be slightly wider than your actual fold. Oh, it went off angle. Dang it. Still wide enough at least. That's the main thing. I'm just going to trim this down so it's just inside this. You could even trim it down so that it kind of lines up with this. That would work too. And then I'm going to do the same. Pull all these stringy bits away. That was fun. I'm so easily amused. And line this up here. And trim that part off. And then I'm just going to glue them down. And there we go. What way am I having it? There we go. So that's those nice and secure. And next, I'm going to grab a paper pack. So I've grabbed this one because it has a lot of flowers. This one's called Vintage Dreams, and I can't remember where I got it. I got it a long time ago. It's been in my collection. It may have been B&M's or The Works, or maybe even been Pound World before it shut down, so I'm not entirely sure. I like that one. I like that one. Ooh, that's nice. I think that would go really well actually because of the purple. It brings out the purple. So do I have both of those in there? Is that the right one? That looks more blue now. What's on the back? Nice, it's the same one. Well, okay then. Must just be different lighting. So I've got a white light over this side. Like over this side I've got a white light, and this side I've got a yellow light. So I'd accidentally ordered the wrong one. So under different lighting, they look slightly different. So if I hold it over to this side, it might look more, I don't know, it might just be my eyes. Anyway, so this is the one that I have chosen. It is the chosen one. And now I need my ruler. Pop that away. And I'm going to measure, I'm going to be doing this in centimetres, guys. How much I need is about 14.5 by 25. 14.5 by 25. I've got everything piled up on my bed. So I keep going to grab it and then I keep dropping other stuff as I grab it. So how do I want this to sit? I think I'll go 25 here so that the flowers are up the way. I mean, you won't really see them too much. Was that 25? Talking too much, I can't remember now. Yes, so 14.5 by 25. Watch this not work. Watch this not be the right size. Every time I measure, I always make a mess of it somehow. But no, I did it right. Go me. So I'm going to grab a little clip here and I'm just going to clip that right there so that I remember that's where it's going. And then I'm going to grab this strip that we cut off and I'm going to measure it down to 25 because you're definitely not going to see this guy because it's going to be on the spine. So it doesn't matter that the flowers are going this way rather than that way. You can't really tell anyway with it being cut. But I'm going to put this as my spine. So I just need to kind of measure. And I'm going to measure from the outside as it's just easier because you can fold it. And I need this to be on the inside. So about just over 3 centimetres. Oops, wrong way. Wouldn't that have been cool? I would have completely butchered that. So this, in theory, should fit snugly in there. And it does. Yay! So I'm going to grab my little clips again. And clip that one. So now, am I going to be lucky enough that that will fit? Of course not, but it's still big enough that I can cut it down. So about 15.5, just over 15. About there. Yeah. And like I say, you could have covered this entire thing in fabric. You don't have to do it the way that I am doing it. Might take a little tiny bit more off of there. I'm just giving you options of how to do it. Let's see, how are we looking? There we go, that's better. And now we need a spine and a flap. So you can do this one of two ways. You can do it the same way we did it last time, where this entire bit comes up to be your flap, or you can do it the way I've done it here, where I've done this. And I wanted the fabric to peek out because I quite like that look. Because you're not getting to see much that's inside here, I wanted to add the interest on the flap. So that was kind of my way of thinking about it. But obviously if you wanted, you could have taken this entire piece of card straight up to the edge, just like we did with the ephemera folder. So that's obviously how you can do it again. I'm going to do it the way I did it last time with that one. So again, I'm going to cut this down to 25. I'm going to use this guy. No, I'm not, because it's going the wrong way. So I'm going to fold this closed and then measure. So I need 2 centimeters. So this is 25, isn't it? Yes. So I need 2 centimeters, and then that will be my little spine. Hopefully. Just slightly too big, of course. How do I do that every time? This is going to be a pain in the neck. Okay. And there we go. And just pin that in place just now as well. And then I can measure this. So just under 5.5. So that's the 25. Nope. That's 25. Okay, so just under 5.5. And that should fit right in there. And then I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to draw a line. So many ways that I could have done this that wasn't as awkward as the way I did it. Whoops. You have a trimmer down. Okay. Let's see how we're looking. And there we go. So now is where you make a choice. Do you want anything on the front that needs like brads that you want to hide, for instance, or closure? So the closure that I use, and this one here has 2 brads on either side. So I don't want to see those, obviously. So I'm going to stick them in now before I glue everything down. So I could go ahead and glue this down, which I think I will. Yeah, I think I will glue all of these bits down that don't hide anything, basically. So I'm going to take these 2 guys away just now, so that I don't forget and accidentally glue them down, because knowing me, that's exactly what I will do. And I'm going to ink everything up with my Distress ink in walnut stain. Obviously you don't have to do this. You could basically just do like the top and stuff, because nobody's going to see most of this anyway. It's just what I'm doing for no apparent reason. Okay, so I have now inked around the edges. I haven't done these edges yet, but I will do once we get to them. I've grabbed my owl and I've grabbed one of these doodads, and some what was it called? Sorry about that clatter. That must have been really loud, especially if you had earphones in. I apologise. Might have tidied up a little bit. Those brads, and then I grabbed these as well. So I've got some of these nameplate guys, and I thought we could have a play and see how that looks on the front. I didn't do it in the last one, but I could definitely have a look and see if it would look cool or not. I couldn't find them, to be honest, when I was making the last one, and that is why they were not used. So I need to actually replenish some of these brads. Let me see. Anyway, so I've picked out 6 just in case, and I'll probably need another 2 because I just realised that these guys have 4 holes, not 2. Whoops. So I'm going to have a little look and see roughly where the centre is. And I don't know why I'm starting with that one, because I need to start with this one. So I'm kind of coming down because I want this to sit pretty close to the bottom. So I want to grab my pencil, which I'm pretty sure I shoved away, and it's 22. So if I do a little pencil mark at 11, and how long is this? This is about 2.5 centimeters. So I need to kind of go 1 centimeter in, and I'm just going to draw a line that's just inside that, so that I know to line it up with that, and that's where this is going to sit. So obviously you're not going to see that pen line, pencil line, so it's no biggie. I'm going to hold this out of the way so that I can add my holes. And I'm going to grab my awl and try not to stab myself. Did I come all the way through on that one? I don't think I did. Because, oh no I did. So I'm now going to add a little bit of glue just on that screw, like in the centre, because the inside of this won't really reach the rest of this. The screw is pretty much the only thing that will. So, and then I will pop the brad, if it will go in. Hold on guys, sorry, I need to kind of find that hole. And I'm going to just kind of push my owl in there a little bit more now, actually, because the hole's not big enough. So what I like about this owl, it's like it gets thicker as it goes down. So I can push that in and push that in now. There we go. I was having difficulty. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that again. Line it up as best I can. And cannot see these frickin' holes in this fabric. It's too detailed. Ah, my goodness. There we go, there's one. And there's the other. Stay. Right. So because these are so tiny, it helps to push your owl in between the legs and then just kind of roll it, and it helps kind of push them into place if they haven't already fallen out the frickin' thing. Oh my days! Right. So push and kind of roll it so that it's pushing those down for you. And then give them a good squeeze. And then when you cover this with your card, that'll reinforce those holes as well, and hopefully you don't have as hard a time as doing it as me. I mean, I've got 4 eyes and I'm still struggling. Maybe shouldn't have picked such a busy fabric. So now what you're going to do is kind of line this up how it would sit naturally, and then what did I do with it? There we go. You're going to insert your little doodad, slide that all the way down, and just see where that naturally would land. And this is why I said to put it really close, because it is literally just grabbing the edge of that and no more, before it's fighting me for the space of this, if you see what I mean. So yeah. I'm going to grab my pencil, and I may come out of frame for this, guys, which I apologise for in advance, but it's a bit of a pain in the neck. So you basically want to line these up completely and then draw a dot. So once you've got your first sort of line, you can then line this up to get your second one, because it's almost impossible to do it. Well, it pretty much is impossible to do it because of the arm covers the second hole. So once you've got these two guys, you can then take your owl and poke your holes, making sure you make them big enough to be seen. And then I'm going to put a dab of glue, or rather a slither of glue, just on the edges, just so that I can kind of hold this where I need it for a couple of seconds. And grab 2 brads and pop those in there. I'm just going to kind of open them as I go, because this one's slightly more awkward, if you can believe it, to do the 2 at the same time. So I now have 2 brads like so. Yay! We did it! So now, well, for starters now, this will close like so. Alrighty, and I've got a little bit of fabric that's doing my knotting. I'm actually going to glue that down because it's not covered yet. So you put a little bead. Oh my goodness, one of those days. Just a little bead of glue and stick it down, rather than trimming it. And now we can have a look at our book plate. So oh, can't put it there, but we could put it like here. I'm going to close it up so we can kind of get a full idea of how it would look. We could put it like here, or we could have it at the top, or we could even, no, that's too wide, or we could have it on the spine. No, we can't, because we've already covered that area. Never mind. We could have it there, but I quite like it down in the corner. What do you think? I can't hear you, so I'm going to put it in the corner. So I'm going to grab another couple of brads, because I only grabbed 2 because I'm an umpty. But I do have another 2 in here somewhere. One. Let's try to find 2 that are exactly the same, because I've got a few different shapes in there. So if you do glue all this together, like if you were to already have put your backing on and then you decided you wanted like a book plate, you can do it the same way we did it before, where you brad it to a piece of card and then glue the card on to the folder. It's definitely an option. Just wiping that off on a bit of cardboard. I'm just going to put a little dot of glue along the edges, just to help hold this in place. It's going to stringy on me. You don't want to put too much on because you don't want it to seep into this little docket here, where you want to obviously be able to put a little card or something. So I'm going to pop this there. Pop these to the side a second. And that's just going to make it easier on me for when it comes to putting the brads in, if this is already in place. If you wanted to glue it down completely, I would suggest maybe glossy accents rather than the fabric glue. So 4 little holes, and I just poked my finger. Yeah, I was going to do it eventually. And again, I'm just going to open these guys up. Okie dokie. So we can obviously pop a little bit of craft card or something in there, so it's got that little brown element, and that's that part done. And we can obviously come back once we're finished with the inside and decorate the outside, which by the time this is done will be less annoying to work with. So while I was off camera, I also went ahead and inked these up just to save on time, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue these down now. So obviously you could add as many elements to the front as you want. If you wanted to obviously add more with the brads, go for it. If you do this, I would love to see your work on Instagram. I'm just Laurie Hay, so I would love to see what you guys are working on. If you'd like to tag me on it, that would be wonderful. Nearly dropped that. So I'm making sure that the rosies are facing the right way up. I'm being careful not to push too hard because it's obviously slightly offset. I'm kind of taking it off my board for a second. It's slightly offset because of this on the front, so I'm just going to turn it over and give it a good old press. And then I can glue this one. So how's everyone getting on during lockdown and stuff? Are you on lockdown at the moment? Here in Scotland, or in the UK in general, I believe we are all on lockdown. So, and it's we're not really sure when we won't be. It keeps changing, so we're back to the homeschooling stage. Is anyone here homeschooling at the moment? How are you finding it? Are the kids enjoying it? My daughter seems to be enjoying it. She likes the idea that she can go to school in her pyjamas, basically. But she is obviously missing her friends and stuff. It's a wee shame. They're not getting like a normal childhood, basically. So hopefully it doesn't last too much longer. My son, he's quite funny because trying to convince him that she's at school when he knows she's in her room is comical. He's like, no, she's not. I can show you. Because obviously the way he sees it is she's in the house, therefore she should be able to play with me right now. So trying to convince him, no, she can't, she's at school. When he's like, no, she's no, mum, she's in her room. So there we go. This is how she's looking. So we have our folder, and then, so this is how much space we've kind of got to work with. We'll finish the rest off next week because I don't want these videos to be too long. But this is how she's looking on the inside. Most of this you won't really see because it will be one of those folders where that's pretty much your view. And then you'll have obviously different pages, and you can have as many in here as you want. You could have 4, you could have 8, you could have however many you want. In my last one, this was basically like a mock-up to see how to do it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, which gives me a lot of space and a lot of room to kind of add things. I'm not really sure what I would use it for. It'd be good for like die cuts and things like that, like embossing folders. I think it would be really handy for that. I have no idea where I would normally keep mine. I keep mine in a Christmas box at the moment, but I think that would be quite handy for you to slot your like your embossing folders and your, maybe not your smaller die cuts, because there is a gap at the bottom. I have seen other people use like paper bags, and I think they staple them at the top to create the same style but with a closed bottom. Whereas this one, it does have a centimetre or 1/4 inch gap at the bottom, so you wouldn't be able to put anything small in here. Sorry, my son's tossing and turning, you can probably hear him on the monitor. But yeah, you can probably put your embossing folders and your larger dies in something like this, which would come in handy. Or again, you could fill it with goodies and send it to a pen pal or something like that. I would imagine that this would be pretty pricey, especially if it got quite heavy to mail, however. But you could make a smaller one, which would be pretty cute. We can maybe do that sometime in the future if you like. Sorry about that, my son woke up. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here. We will finish this hopefully in the next video, and like I said, it will be a giveaway, so definitely stay tuned for that. But thank you very much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and that you recreate this. If you do recreate it, I'll spit it out. If you do recreate it, or just in general what you're working on craft wise, I would love to see it. So if you would tag me on Instagram, just at Laurie Hay, it's the same as my YouTube name. I would very much appreciate it. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and I will see you soon. Take care and God bless. Bye.